Thank you. My name is Kenji Leung. I was a Hong Kong athlete. Now I have retired as an athlete, and I'm now a coach and a consultant. So what is a cyclist? Now, when people think about athletes, they would ask, oh, how can you become an athlete, and what's the life of an athlete like? Now I would like to share with you. Now, what is meant by this sacrificing enjoyment and enjoying sacrifices? So while I do sports, what have I sacrificed? I've sacrificed my time for studying. Now, because when I was an athlete, well, actually, ever since Form 2, I seldom went back to school because I had to take leave all the time to take part in competitions. So there were a lot of problems when it comes to further my study because I didn't study, I didn't take examinations. So how could I get higher education? But I was pursuing my dreams because I really loved cycling. It's the same for you because you have your dreams. You want to go after that. You have your goals. But we have to understand that there's something called reality, and you have to know the rules of the game. And what are the rules of the game? Now, when you are studying, you have to take examinations, and then you can be promoted. So it's just like a competition. You have to have some achievements, then you can become a Hong Kong representative, and then you can get sponsorship, and then you can compete overseas. So from 13 to 29, I was an athlete. After I retired, what was my life like? It was empty. I didn't know how to work, and I haven't really had schooling. And I had to use English in my work. I didn't speak much English. So how could I go on? But when we have clear goals, we should go after these goals. Well, as an athlete, we had to undergo very difficult trainings. So what are we after? We want to win people's applause. We want to win. We want to stand on this podium, but we may just be standing on this podium for 10 seconds, but we spent dozens of years for training. And as a cyclist, the training was more or less like going to school every day. I had to be trained for 5 to 8 hours, so it's just like going to school. But when you are in school, are you attentive all day? Now, if you are attentive all day, please raise your hands.
Very few. But if you do one thing very attentively, then please raise your hand. For example, if you specialize in design, if you like studying English, if you are very attentive, then I think more participants have raised your hands, because when you like something, you will be able to achieve your dream. If you want to be an elite cyclist, every year we have to cycle 30,000 kilometers. Well, you may be always on the plane, but have you accumulated 30,000 kilometers mileage a year? If you drive, do you think you can make such a long distance in a year? No. So because of this objective, well, this is part of elite athlete. You all know Wong Campo. He has won so many awards and medals. In 1 year's time, he needs to cycle 30,000 to 40,000 kilometers. On average, we have to cycle 100 kilometers. And how far is that distance? If you know Hong Kong, if you start from Sha Tin, if you cycle from Sha Tin to Tuen Mun and then to Sha Tau Kok, back to Tai Po to Sha Tin, then that's 100 kilometers. Every day we have to cycle such a long distance. If you want to be better, you have to even cycle longer. When I was a Hong Kong team member, well, I spent 9 years in the team, but then I wasn't happy because I can't find my goal, and I always argued with my coach. Well, students always argue with their teacher, saying that they don't like this subject, they don't like that subject. At that time, after arguing with my coach, I went to Europe with only $60,000 with me. That's not a big sum of money. So what should I do in Europe? I was not familiar with the place. I didn't know the language. I left the Hong Kong team. That was really unfortunate. because I lost a lot of resources. The Hong Kong team gave me a lot of sponsorship. I didn't need to buy my own bicycle, and I didn't need to pay for hotel accommodation and air tickets. But then in Europe, I needed to pay for everything myself. In the first year, I had only $60,000. I did not gain much prize money. I did not get sponsorship. I once thought of doing some paintings because I studied graphic design before, and I tried to sell my paintings, but I was not able to get much money. I did not have good brushes and good canvas. I took some paper cartons from supermarkets, and then I drew graphics on them, on the card box, and I was not able to sell my works. After that, with some packaging, eventually I sold my works for 1 to 2 euros. And I realized that my dream could not come true. Then how did I continue my dream? In the most difficult 6 years, I discussed with my team members. So we worked in a team. Some team members were good at doing the last lap. And if they won championship, well, they could win prize money, and then we can share, we can split the money. So that's how we cooperated. In sports, it is important to have teamwork. So don't think that you are the most outstanding. You have to do things in team. Then you will achieve return together. And then you can achieve something even bigger. In Europe, I participated in 50 vocational races. So usually there are members from national teams selected into these career teams, and then there may be 30 athletes in each team, but then only 6 will be chosen. And now I've already retired. I went back to what I like. That is, I now have become a coach, and that is the most profitable. Sorry, I know the time is up. Thank you, Kenji.